Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Supergirl Season 2, Episode 16. It's called Star-Crossed. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. Also, this is kind of part one of the Flash musical crossover.
It's much more part one than I expected it to be.
Well, it's exactly what I expected it to be, because I had seen the images from it, so I knew that Music Maestro was going to be a prisoner at DEO, so I felt like they're properly introducing it in this episode.
Yeah, okay. After the last time, I didn't expect to see Music Master. I didn't expect to see anything, that whole end sequence.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, it was only just the scene at the end, but it did feel like a proper lead in the sense that he started here. The threat started in this show.
It even had a to be continued on Flash.
Yeah. Whereas last time it was one scene that could have been taken out, and it was also repeated in the Flash, so that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, I'm sure this will be on the previously on tomorrow, but of course.
Yeah. That's fine.
That's fair. I guess we're talking about that first, since I went straight into it. It was fine.
Yeah. It's cool.
I'll say my one disappointing thing about how they're doing this musical.
Go on.
I'm annoyed that they're not going to be in costume doing a song at some point. I've got a feeling they're going to be in their, she's going to be in the dress, he's going to be in a tux or whatever the whole time.
Okay, I get that, but she looks damn good, so I don't care.
No, but that's not the point. It doesn't matter. The point is that they're not in costume. If I'm going to have the Flash and Supergirl singing about stuff,
they're in character. It counts.
It's not the same. I want her to be flying while she's singing. I want her to be going super speed while he's singing.
Maybe that's what'll happen. Like the final bit when they break free, they'll summon the powers and the costumes.
Part of the reason, right, I know I bring up Buffy a lot, but it's the one show that's got a musical episode that I like, so I have to reference this, right? Part of what makes the Buffy musical episode so much fun is that she's still slaying vampires as she's singing. They're still doing.
I agree.
They're doing their regular things, but they're singing about it, and that makes it really funny.
Yeah, I get that.
Right, that's my only complaint. Right, other than that, fine, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, it was properly introduced. They popped up, and there you go. As for the rest of the episode, I thought it was generally pretty good. I'm a bit more positive than maybe I was expecting to be.
Oh, definitely. First 5 minutes, I was like, oh, I'm not going to like this one very much. Then it swerved it.
Because it was focusing a lot on Mon-El and Daxam.
Instead, yeah.
It was a lot of Win and Lyra. I will say, so the ship showed up with Terry Hatcher on it. And Supergirl was up to meet it after they sent like a Man of Steel style message to all the TVs.
Yeah.
I will say the scene with her get up there I loved because it was wonderfully goofy and comic booky. That bit where they fire a bubble at her and she's in a bubble crashing towards the ground.
Punches her way out, yeah.
That was super comic booky. The shot at the end as well when she lands and then flies back up was pretty cool.
Yeah, my only complaint was the first one, the one that exploded behind her looked a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I'll excuse it. I feel like this show has done better. It is the only reason I mention it.
Oh, sure, but I mean, we've got her flying towards this giant spaceship. Like, you don't see this on Flash and whatever.
You don't.
Yeah. They've each got their own thing that they do, which is nice. So, that was fun, but then obviously that plot delves into her finding out that Mon-El's actually the prince, and I'm glad in the previously on they made a point of showing that part where she said, yeah, and the prince is the worst of the worst. Like she's heard the reputation of the prince.
I mean, we were fairly sure he was the prince anyway. As soon as they put that in there previously, I was like, oh, cool, he's definitely the prince.
Yeah, there's no way he's not the prince now.
Yeah, I know.
It's impossible. And if she's pissed, she's quite rightly pissed. And I have to admit, when she started being pissed at him, I started to really enjoy things.
Me too.
It was really good. And do you know what? He actually benefited a little bit from it. And I'll say why. So it gets towards the end of the episode, and she's been pissed at him throughout the episode, and it's kind of went on the back burner. We kind of focus on the Win plot for a lot of the middle of the episode.
Which is much better.
Yeah, but at the end when he comes, in fact, it's a slight change from usual. He's already in the apartment. She comes home.
I was like, oh, he's broke in before her.
He's already there. Yeah.
To be fair to it, it was also like a couple of minutes before the end as well. It wasn't the final scene like normal.
True. But I also, now admittedly it does go full CW with the cheesy song playing as the scene's playing out, which I can't say I like, but he tries to apologise and be like, I'll do whatever you want, I'll fix it. It's like, you can't fix it, you're an idiot. This is the whole thing, but we've complained about it. He tries to fix things after the fact, but you can't really, you need to understand, blah, blah, blah. And I was a little bit worried that the scene was going to end with her forgiving him and being all smoochy and it was going to be all over. But she's like, nah, you screwed up and you're kind of an evil prince. Get out.
Do you know why I was really surprised by this?
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole thing with Win, obviously that resolves and he's like, no, I forgive her. So
Yeah.
I expected them to, her to see that and go, maybe I should do the same.
Yeah, it feels like she was supposed to get a lesson from him. But as Wynn says, you have to decide if what they were lying for was worth the lying. Was that enough? And it doesn't change the fact that he was a complete and utter tool before. Well, he's still kind of a tool, but the reason why I say it benefited him a little bit is because after that scene, when he goes back up to the ship and he tells his parents to piss off, he does actually say, he kind of say, it's along the lines of, whether I'm with her or not, I'm a better person when I'm around her, so I'm not leaving. That is the first time he has said something about being about a hero or a better person where I've not immediately assumed it's just because he wants in her pants. That's the first time he said something that I have not assumed that.
And you know what? Obviously we've been saying how we expect him to be gone at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think now he will leave to go back to Daxam and be a good ruler and try and improve that planet.
Yeah, he'll try and not make the rest of the people feel like slaves. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. He'll try and make it like a good place to live.
Oh, by the way, don't think we did not notice the "Make Daxam Great Again" line that was in the middle. What I thought was funny, so they're basically treating Daxamites like the hardcore like right wing essentially, and they're treating Krypton as more the liberals. But what I thought's funny about that comparison is that Krypton, like they blow up the planet, they basically ruin themselves, and in effect, they also ruined Daxam because it's Krypton exploding.
It kind of feels like they're saying, hey, extreme on either side doesn't necessarily work out.
Oh, of course, yeah. I think that's the ultimate message, but I kind of had a chuckle to myself. We're like, this is clearly supposed to be more of a liberal message, but at the same time, Krypton did kind of wreck their planet too.
And to be fair, Kara acknowledges that. She was like, we made mistakes too. And I appreciate that in the political allegory sense that it's like, neither side's perfect in this.
Yeah, you can't... Full-on extreme either side does not win anything.
Exactly.
There has to be balance.
Exactly.
My cat's being a pest. I'm just trying...
Nothing new there, really.
Trying to wrangle him in. But yeah, so that was that plot. So surprisingly, not as infuriating. The opening scene was a bit lovesick, and that's the musical...
the musical foreshadowing.
Because there's going to be a musical...
And then you had the Hamilton stuff a little bit later.
You did. So that was that. Obviously, the Wynn plot. So Lyra convinces Wynn to have sex in an art gallery, and it seems like
he's kinky and he's down for that.
Yeah, but it turns out it was all ruse. She was using him because she wants to steal the painting, the Van Gogh painting, which I recognise. To be fair, I
should bloody hope so, frankly.
No, but sometimes in shows and stuff, when they mention a famous painting, I don't recognise it. But every so often, they'll be like, "No, I know that one."
That one, I should bloody if you didn't,
it's a famous one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It would be a concern if you hadn't recognised it.
I mean, I couldn't tell you the name of it, but I know it.
Starry Night, I believe.
Starry Night. There you go. Yeah, there's that. I mean, I can name the Mona Lisa. I can name the sunflower. Is it just called the sunflower?
I think so.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, in the vase.
Yeah. Of course in a vase.
Yeah, no, the one, I'm just... Shut up.
No, in the kettle.
It could be in the ground.
In the pie.
Could be in a pot. I'm just saying. Shut up. Do you know what really impressed me about this plot? Right from the off.
Yeah.
When I realised I didn't want Lyra to be bad. I didn't want this to happen. I cared more about this relationship than I did about any of the Kara and Mon-El one.
Oh, I agree. They had more chemistry. And we were a little bit worried when she first popped up. Also, turned out to be something. But honestly, see, because they were doing it at the start of the episode, I very quickly realised where this was going.
Yeah.
I very quickly realised that, okay, she has screwed him over, but by the end of the episode, he will still like her anyway, and it'll be kind of sweet because he's forgiven her. Yeah. And that's the way they went. I want to point out, so I like that Wynn calls Jimmy and Alex comes out. I loved his scenes with Maggie and her interrogating him and being mean to him and trying to scare him.
The best bit was at the end when he puts his hand on her shoulder. She's like, "I will throw you in a cell just for fun."
Yeah, but she calls them, and they go back to the DEO, and they're all trying to work. And Jimmy was good in this episode. His Guardian stuff was fun, and because when he tries to punch the demon-looking guy, and it doesn't work with his shield, and he's like, "That usually works. Run!"
And then he goes flying.
Yeah, then he goes flying. No, he was fine in this episode. He was used. If they can't give him a proper plot, then this is exactly how he should be used. As a fun.
Yeah, if they insist on keeping him around.
Yeah, but he's fine in this role. I have no complaints.
Is. That's what I mean.
No, speaking of the fight, so they go to the trailer park where she's hanging out. That's where she's hiding. And these two henchmen dudes show up and they start fighting them. And what I thought was funny, so Guardians, they're fighting, and Alex shows up and is fighting. This entire fight is better than 99% of the fights on Iron Fist. I just wanted to point that out. And
Really
this is on the CW. I just wanted to point that out.
Worse, it's on the CW, on the show that has powers and not necessarily hand-to-hand combat as most of its thing.
To be fair, we've said a few times on this show that the fighting's been
better
impressive.
than expected. Yeah.
I mean, it's not up there. Say like Shield does especially well with its fighting, for example.
Yeah, and Arrow, when it was good, had some great stuff.
Yeah, but this is definitely better than Arrow now, and it's definitely got better fighting than the Flash. I mean, the Flash doesn't need better fighting because of what it is.
Yeah, and you don't criticize it for that.
Yeah, Legends has a bit of fighting, and it's hit and miss.
Fine.
But
yeah, this is better.
But yeah, Supergirl. Usually when Alex does something badass, and does Supergirl as well herself, to be fair, has some moments. But she sometimes will just be like, let's use heat vision, let's use super strength. Whereas Alex is the one who'll do the flippy things and the hand-to-hand combat and.
Still better than Iron Fist.
Still better than Iron Fist, and she don't have no Iron Fists. So yeah, this plot was fun. It was kind of heartwarming. Him trying to help her, and them all showing up to help at the end. I will say the alien dude who's like coming for the painting was very Buffy Angel sort of demon-esque.
He was, and I feel like I've seen him before, like the actor, whoever was playing him.
Probably. I'm sure this is a guy.
Like he's probably in one of those shows.
But I'm sure that this seems like it's probably a guy who does a lot of makeup roles. He probably does a lot of things like this.
His voice sounded a lot like David Harewood, though.
Like it wasn't him, but sure.
No, it wasn't him, but it sounded a lot like him, and it took me a second. I was like, no.
I can see it. I will say I was getting mad at Alex at one point because she was trying. Hey, Kara, you should give him a chance. He's trying to have a fresh start. You maybe give him a shot. And I'm like, Alex, shut up. Just because you've got a happy relationship doesn't mean she needs one. Shut up. But yeah,
bitch.
It's harsh, but at the same time, in that moment, I was thinking it. Stop
exactly.
it. Shut your goddamn mouth. Let her dump him, please. Hell, if Super wants to like ditch on no killing rule and just kill him, that'd be fine too. Get rid of him.
Probably allow it, yeah.
But like I say, at the end of the episode, his speech was the first time where he came off a little bit better. He seemed to benefit from this. He seems to have learned, finally, something from his major cock-ups that he keeps repeatedly doing.
Yeah. His mother was ultimately right, though. He's not good enough for Kara.
Oh, no, she's right about that, yeah. Terry Hatcher's not wrong.
Exactly.
Not wrong.
I feel like there's an important point that cannot be overlooked here.
No, it cannot be overlooked. So yeah, in fact, what's funny about me seeing that demon guy, or the alien guy reminded me of a demon on like Buffy Angel. The actual plot with winning that felt like an Angel plot.
It did. It really did.
It felt like an Angel Investigations plot. And I know I bring up Buffy and Angel and you joke about it, but
I feel like this show, out of all the ones that we kind of watch at the minute, kind of has a lot from it.
It's because of the bar with the aliens. It's very much like Lauren's Place.
Yeah, the makeup on Lyra.
Yeah, the makeup on Lyra. There's these aliens that look like demons from that show. And hey, if you're going to take from stuff,
hey, there's worse places to take from. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, no,
I don't know. I feel like this was elevated a lot just because when we spoke a lot about how he elevates everyone around him whenever he's on screen doing stuff, and when you have a plot centered around him, like him eating donuts because he was stressed in the interrogation. Amazing.
Yes, donuts on this show, but it wasn't Kara that was eating them. What is this? What is this evil?
The best part was when the scene ended. It just did a close up of him taking a bite.
Another donut.
That was the end of the scene. It's like, oh, this is amazing. But and then him just being all excited that he got laid and singing at work. You know, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, celebrate good times.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a quick way to talk about, but it was pretty cut and dry. Obviously there was the political analogies between the sort of left and right with Daxam and Krypton, and even Kara's prejudice coming back, but at the same time it feels kind of justified. But at the same time, Mon-El's like, or no, not Mon-El, sorry, Mon-El's mother's even like, you hate him because he's Daxam royalty already. Because you know this, you already hate him for it.
Yeah.
And she's calling out like a bias. She's calling out like a
prejudice.
A prejudice, yeah. And that's interesting because no side should have prejudice. And Kara's kind of learned that, and she forgave him before when she was just being, oh, you're just a Daxamite. But now she's like, oh no, you were basically Hitler's right hand man. What the hell?
At least now it has the lying on top of it rather than just what he was as well.
Oh yeah, sure, you lied about it. But Joe, I liked in that confrontation scene, as much as I hated the cheesy music, I did like that she's like, were you ever actually going to tell me? Was this ever on the schedule for you to actually admit this? And
I like that he says he doesn't know. Like, he doesn't just say, of course, that, because that wouldn't have felt realistic. It wouldn't have felt in character.
Well, I think of course would have felt in character, but he'd have obviously been lying.
Okay, but if they'd passed it off as he wasn't meant to be lying.
Oh yeah, if it was meant to be genuine, it wouldn't be. But
that's what I mean.
Him lying and saying he would have, I would have bought. But him saying he doesn't know is actually a sign of growth. That okay, maybe he's learning not to be a lying little shit. And by being honest about this, she can accept that it's actually a truthful answer. Because had he just said yes, she probably wouldn't have known if she could believe him or not. Because he's not earned that trust. But him saying I don't know is kind of okay. That's more honest than perhaps she was expecting.
Yeah.
So no, that's good. So that's nice. Don't get me wrong. I'm ready for him and her not to be a thing. But at least
he can go. Lyra can stay.
But this episode was definitely the best episode about the relationship since it started.
By far.
Yeah. Because the last episode was better overall, don't get me wrong, but that wasn't about them. So
yeah.
That was just great on its own.
Yeah.
But no, it was pretty strong. I don't think it's dipped too much from the last one, because obviously I didn't think we were expecting one as good as the last one.
No.
But I'd say it's probably better than the handful that were before it.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So
I had a lot of fun with it still. So yeah.
No, it's great. And it was nice to get Win a plot that's got some serious screen time.
Yeah, I feel like he hasn't had one in a long time. In fact, the last one I vividly remember as like a Win episode was like when his dad was around in season 1.
Yeah, Toyman stuff.
Yeah, it was a long time. Looking forward to tomorrow though.
Oh yeah, Flash musical tomorrow. Of course, we'll be covering that. Obviously, we have 3 or 4 episodes left of Iron Fist. We're doing reviews of that constantly. We are not liking that show. We started off.
We kind of downright hate it.
We started off. This is mediocre. Hopefully, it gets better. Now we hate it. So let that be what it is. So thanks for watching, guys. Let us know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz for channel updates. Individual Twitters are on the screen for everyday ramblings. Thank you very much for watching. I almost said my joke from Iron Fist, but no one would get it because it's Supergirl, so I'm not going to.
But it kind of works with the food theme on here.
Have you got vanilla? Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.